Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. To the Hbar holders, thank you so much for all the love. Let's take a look at what's happening with the price of Hbar as we are starting off Monday. Looking across the board, we are seeing quite a bit of green once again within the markets. Today actually was, quite an interesting day for the crypto space, and there is a specific news behind this, major excitement that we're seeing across the board. But again, a good way to start off, this upcoming week. But again, we want to still be looking at Bitcoin along with the dominance very closely. But again, we are seeing quite a big bounce across the board. As far as HBAR price is concerned, it's up 8% right now, which again is amazing to see, with the price currently sitting at 18.45 cents. It's also up 4% on the Bitcoin side of things, with the valuation at $7.8 billion. 24-hour trading volume 244.2 million. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So reason why we're seeing so much excitement right now within the crypto space is because of this right here. President Trump announces that he will be paying a tariff dividend of at least $2,000 per person. Stimulus checks are officially back, but to keep in mind, this is not for people that have high income. It's for the people that have low income. So again, $2,000 per person, and obviously people are starting to talk about the last time the stimulus checks were given. But again, very interesting, and I think that has sparked some interest within the markets. And even if you're looking at the traditional market pre-market numbers, you are seeing the market reacting in a positive way. But let's take a closer look and see what's happening with the price of Bitcoin along with HBAR. So as far as the dominance is concerned, to be quite frank with you, regardless of us seeing so much green across the board or not, you're still seeing the dominance sitting at like 59.95%. And I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, if the dominance did not go lower, so what's really causing this excitement? It is because of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin actually broke out today to this specific announcement. You can see for yourself where we are currently sitting at $106,268. Again, last time we retested this key support line, kind of dates back to the beginning of the month. So again, a nice bounce, but again, we're still nowhere near where we need to be. The market did react. Bitcoin reacted in a positive way to that announcement that I just showed you guys, but dominance is still hovering exactly where it was a few hours ago. So again, dominance could, if it were to pull down, I think we would have seen much more of bounce than we have seen today. So let's say when this announcement came out and Bitcoin made the move that it has, and dominance maybe pushed down to the likes of 59.47%. Again, we haven't really seen that since October 30th. I think we would have seen a bigger bounce for altcoins today. But again, we'll definitely take this. But still, you want to be watching Bitcoin making its way back into the 23.6. Very, very important. And again, you want to see the dominance show weakness, because you cannot just see the dominance hovering exactly where it was yesterday. That's something I want you guys to keep in mind. But let's take a look at what's happening with Hbar. So Hbar was able to reclaim back up to the 18.4 cents price point. I talked to you guys about how we want to reclaim the 19.2 cents. That was a very specific thing I said in the yesterday's update. And again, that is pretty much what I want you guys to kind of keep in mind. But what I also want you guys to focus on right now is where the price of Hbar is currently sitting. We do have some resistance as to where the price of Hbar is currently sitting, especially around the 18.7 cents mark. Again, if we're able to break out of this key range, I think Hbar does reclaim back above the level that we were speaking about yesterday with you guys, which again is only about a move of about 3.76% from where we currently are. And again, if we're able to break out of here, I think we could be at that level much quicker than you think. But what I want you guys to realize right now is, imagine if the dominance did pull down to the likes of 59.67%, or most importantly at the support line at 59.48%. What would have happened? I think we would have seen the price of Hbar breaking above the 20 cents price point. But this is why it's so important to not forget about the Bitcoin dominance time in, time out. But again, I like this. Again, I'm sure no one's really complaining at this specific move, because again, if you want to put this into perspective, just since last night, if you accumulated Hbar around this key support line around 16.8 cents, you did see a bounce of about 10% once again. So nice steady move towards the upside. But again, you want to really see the price reclaiming back above the 19.2 cents mark and start hovering up to the 20 cents psychological level. That pretty much opens the door for us to get back into the 61.8, which of course is what we retested on October 28th. So, pretty much for the entire month, we have not seen the price get back into the 23.6 Fibonacci retrace. I'm sorry, not the 23.6. I mean the 61.8, and we want to see the price reclaim it back into this key range, which would be very exciting in my opinion. Even since the ETF has been launched for Hbar, the price did, have a beautiful bounce towards the upside. We got rejected at that key range, but we also need to keep in mind Bitcoin also saw a little bit of a shakeout, as we know, which of course, has dragged, the price of Hbar down with it. But again, we're seeing some positive moves right now. But again, some of these key factors to keep in mind. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Much love. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX and peace out.